Hey kids, welcome to Beach Park Kids Church. Stick around for the whole episode.
Good morning, Beach Park Children's Department. This is Miss Ashley, and welcome to Virtual Sunday School. Beach Park kids, this is Miss Ashley. This morning we're going to read a lesson entitled Jesus Healed Bartimaeus. But before we get started, I want to have you think of something. Christmas just finished, the season of giving, the season of celebrating Christ's birth. But I want you to think of a gift that you've received. Who gave you that gift? What did that gift mean to you? What was special about that gift that you will always remember and cherish that gift? Our first lesson this morning is going to come out of 1 John 4 and verse 9. And it says, "In this was manifested the love of God toward us, because that God sent his only begotten Son into this world, that we might live through him." And our lesson starts out with, how do you show love to someone? Do you give them roses and gifts? Give hugs and kisses? Say kind and encouraging words? Spend time together? Or serve someone who needs help with something? Depending on your personality, one action or maybe two speaks love to you more than others. Jesus showed his love for children, men, women, the poor, the rich, tax collectors, outcasts, everyone, in many different ways. Jesus taught about God, but even more, Jesus' actions showed God's unconditional love for all people. One person who mattered to Jesus was Bartimaeus. He was blind and made his living by begging. Bartimaeus cried out to Jesus for help. The people tried repeatedly to quiet him, but Jesus heard him. When Jesus responded to Bartimaeus, someone whose society had cast out, Jesus showed unconditional love. Bartimaeus had done nothing to earn Jesus' attention, much less his blessing and healing. Bartimaeus' story is great news for all people. We do not have to earn God's love. In God's view, no one is more or less important. Every person is special to him. God calls every believer to tell them the good news about Jesus. How do you show God's love to people around you in order to tell them about Jesus? On one day, Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples. A large crowd was following them on the dusty road to Jerusalem. Bartimaeus was a blind beggar. Bartimaeus was probably not able to work due to his blindness, so he would sit by the road and ask people to help him. Bartimaeus heard the noise of the large crowd walking past him. He wondered who was walking by. When he heard it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, "Jesus, help me!" Many people in the crowd warned him to be quiet, but he cried out even louder, "Son of David, please help me!" Jesus stopped. "Call him," Jesus said. So the people called to Bartimaeus to get up. "Don't be afraid. Jesus is calling you." Quickly, Bartimaeus threw off his coat. He jumped up and he hurried to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. "My master, I want to see." The blind man told Jesus. Jesus looked at Bartimaeus with love and said, "Go, your faith has saved you." Immediately, Bartimaeus could see. He began to follow Jesus on the road to Jerusalem. Earlier, I asked you a question. I asked you what was the best gift, the most memorable gift that you had ever received. And you may have different things. It may be a new baby doll. It may be a new Matchbox card. It may be a computer game or a book. How about the gift of salvation? How about the gift of sight, which Bartimaeus received? He received the gift of sight and the gift of salvation. He didn't give up. The Lord helped him. I want to ask you to pull out a piece of paper.
All right, kids, you heard Miss Ashley. Grab you a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Don't run. Come back, and she's got some instructions for you to do with this pencil and paper.
And on this piece of paper, I want you to list the important people around you, whether it be at home, at school, at church, or in your community. And I want you to write me a list. If you can't write, have your parents help you. This doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be special. But we're going to do something with this in a little while. So take time and write this out for me. This is my list.
All right, Beach Park kids, you heard Miss Ashley. Make a list, write your names out. If you can't write, maybe draw some things on the paper or get your parents to help you. Make our list, and we'll come right back after the song.
And you have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. And you have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn and I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. And you have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. And you have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
That gift of salvation is a gift for everyone. The rich, the poor, the big, the tall, the kids, the adult. You have to open your heart and allow Jesus to come into that. With this, I have a challenge for you. Every day, I want you to pull this list out, and I want you to pray for these people when you wake up. I want you to thank the Lord for these people and have Jesus help them. Pray, thanking God that all people are important to Him. Thank God for sending His Son, Jesus, so that you may live through Him. Remember the one conversation that Brother Robbie's been having with us. Who is your one? My one is on my list. Just because the year's over and we're starting a new one doesn't mean we cannot still pray for that one. Throughout the coming week, keep in mind how much God values each person. Ask Him to help you love others enough to tell someone the good news about Jesus. I have a few questions that we are going to review. I'm going to give you the questions, no answer, And then next week, I'm going to see if you remember these. Question number 1. Who did Bartimaeus, the blind beggar, hear walking past him? Number 2. Why did Bartimaeus cry out to Jesus? Number 3. What did the crowd tell Bartimaeus when he loudly cried out to Jesus? Number 4. What did Jesus do when Bartimaeus cried out to him? Number 5. What did Jesus tell Bartimaeus? And last but not least, what did Bartimaeus do after Jesus healed his sight? So write these down. Next week we will review these questions and see what you remember from the previous week.
My God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Our God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Yeah, every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful
Well, hey there, friends. How are you? My name is Billy, the Bible verse guy. That's right. I love memorizing Bible verses. So today, for just a few minutes, we're going to memorize a Bible verse. That's right. And then in the next couple of weeks, I hope to have some friends help me memorize Bible verses with you. So if you're ready, let's begin. The first verse I would like for you to memorize is John chapter 3, verse 16. That's right, John 3:16. So let's say it together. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Great job. Now, I'm going to do something tricky. I'm going to erase some words. And you're going to have to say the Bible verse without words on it. So, are you ready? Here we go. Let's see. Whoa! Do you think you can do it? I bet you can. Let's say it together. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Great job! Now, let's try it again with even more words missing. You ready? Here we go. Let's look at it. Whoa! All right, let's try this. Ready? John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Whoa, you did so good. All right, last time. Even more words are missing. Whoa! All right, you can do this. I believe in you. Ready? Let's go. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. You guys did so good. Congratulations. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Woo! All right, next week, I'll see you again, and I'll bring a friend. All right, later, everybody. My name is Billy the Bible Verse Guy. Bye. Woo!
Take this heart and draw it close to you. Let this life be for your glory. Take these hands and stretch
God's story, creation. So part of God's story is about when he created the world, and it begins like this. Before the beginning of time, there was nothing. Nothing at all. No earth, no light, just emptiness. It was like the inside of a basketball, or a cup after you drink all the milk out of it. But God was there, and he had an idea. He wanted to fill up the emptiness. And guess what? Since he's God, he can make things appear just by speaking. It's like if you could say, "Let there be a roller coaster," and then any kind of roller coaster you wanted just appeared. So, in the middle of nothing, God said, "Let there be light," and the darkness was filled with light. Now, we know what light is, but remember, it had never existed before. Everything God made was brand new. So it was probably like when you're asleep, and someone comes in the room and flips on the lights. Except there were no people yet. God was creating a world for them first. Anyway, light was the first thing God made. He called the light day and the dark night. He made a huge space above water and called it sky. Then he gathered all the water, separated it from dry ground, and called it sea. He called the dry ground land. God called it all good. He thought what he had made was pretty sweet. But he wasn't done yet. All that land was still bare. So God made plants. Oak trees, palm trees, evergreen trees, grass, roses, sunflowers, and every other type of tree, bush, flower, or plant, including the ones we eat, like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Then God looked at all the plants and called them good. Kids, that includes vegetables. After plants, God created the sun to shine all day and the moon to shine at night. He sprinkled twinkling balls of light in the sky and called them stars. And guess what? He called that stuff good too. Next, God filled the water with fish and whales and sharks and squid and every other sea creature. He filled the sky with flapping, chirping, squawking birds. And what do you think he called the fish and birds? Yep, good. Even though sometimes birds poop on our heads. Now there were fish and birds, but still nothing but plants on land. So God said, "Let there be animals." And animals of all kinds came crawling, scurrying, snorting, stomping, and racing across the dry ground. And just like everything else, God called the animals good. God was almost done, but he had one more thing to create that he had imagined from the very beginning when the earth was still empty. People. And he was going to love this creation more than anything else. See, the land and sky and animals and plants were beautiful, but none of them are as precious to God as we are. So finally, God created Adam. But God soon saw that Adam needed one more thing, a family. So God created Eve. And God's plan was for the two of them to have babies and live in this perfect world forever. No hunger, no sickness, no sadness, no loneliness, no dying. God took care of their every need like a loving father. It was perfect. God loved all his creation. Remember, he had called it all good. But when he looked at Adam and Eve and felt such a strong love for them, he called everything he had made very good. Then he rested to enjoy his perfect world. And that's the story of creation. So in case you missed it, here's the quick version. The earth was empty. God made light and dark. God made the sky and seas. God made plants and fish. God made birds and animals. He said all this stuff was good. Then he made Adam. Adam needed a family. So God made Eve. God called everything very good. Then God rested. And that's a part of God's story.